Hey everybody, and welcome to the next episode of Mykaela's Corner. Guys, I hope you had the best Christmas. I hope it was very merry and bright. I hope you just had a lot of fun unwrapping presents, but spending time with family and remembering the reason for the season, and that being baby Jesus. I hope you guys had just a wonderful time, and even though it was probably a little different, I hope you still found ways to make it joyful and just celebrate with your family. Well, this week we have another holiday coming up, and do you guys know what it is? That's right, New Year's Eve! And you know what that means? It's gonna be a new year! Can you believe it? 2020 will be over, and we will start 2021. Now, I know 2020 was not what people expected. It's not what you expected. It's not what I expected. It's been very different and sometimes really hard. But with the promise of a new year coming up, it just makes you full of hope and excitement that things are gonna get better. And they already are getting better, you guys. So it's just gonna continue to get better. And I hope that this new year, this 2021, is gonna bring you so much joy, so much happiness, and you guys are gonna crush it. Just like you did this last year. Even though it was hard, you did the work. You guys put in the hard work. You did it, and you made it through 2020, and you found ways to be happy in it. You found ways to find joy. We all did. We all had to adapt and learn new things and get creative with how to spend time with one another. And now this year, it's coming up, 2021, and who knows what it's gonna look like, but I trust God that it's gonna be a great one. Whether we're still staying home, staying safe, if we're able to get out and go enjoy things again, who knows? It's a whole new year. So with that, today we are talking in our Bible lesson about thinking on things that are good. I have a verse that we're going to talk about and that we're going to break down and talk about how to think on things that are good. Sometimes we get so bogged down in the bad and worry about like, what if this year isn't going to be good? Well, I have some tools and some tricks from God to help you think positively. And so that's what we're going to do today in our Bible lesson. And for our craft, we're going to make New Year's Eve fireworks. Now, I don't know if you live in an area that has fireworks on New Year's Eve. We have some spots where you can go to look. I'm not sure what it's like this year. That's not been something that I make a tradition of doing. But if you live somewhere that has fireworks or you know that they like fireworks, we're going to recreate those in our craft today. So, without further ado, guys, let's jump in. Welcome to Bible Time. Today I'm going to be talking about a verse that talks about things that are good. There's a whole list of things that we should think about that will keep our brains thinking positively. It'll keep us feeling good. It'll keep us uplifted rather than feeling bummed out or sad. This will help us change our mind and think on things that are good and will help us focus our attention on God. So, I thought this would be a good thing to cover as we go into the new year. Something that we're maybe a little anxious about, not sure what this new year's gonna hold. We've got a lot of things going on right now. We're still staying home, we're still staying safe. This year was a crazy year. Whether a good crazy or a bad crazy, it was all around kind of crazy. You guys started school in person and you finished online. Some of you were able to go back to school, but it was still different. Like you have to wear masks now. There's just a whole bunch of stuff that are unknown going into this new year. Are we gonna stay the way we are? Will it change? Who knows? Only God knows what this year has in store for us. But that might leave us feeling a little anxious, a little uncertain of what's to come, uncertain of what this year has to hold. And you need to take time to take a deep breath and think on different things. Focus your attention somewhere else, or spin it in a way that it can be positive. What do I mean? Well, let's read this verse that God has for us that will show us exactly how to do that. Our verse for today is from Philippians chapter 4, verse 8, and it goes like this. Finally, brethren, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is good, whatever is of any excellence, and if anything worthy of praise, dwell on these things. Meaning, think about these things. Those are some amazing words to think about. In fact, if we go back a couple verses, it talks about being anxious. It says in verse 6, be anxious for nothing. Don't be anxious. But in everything, by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. And then it goes into saying this verse, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is right, all those things we talked about, think on those things when you're feeling anxious. What a great verse, and it's right here in the Bible. God is telling us to not think about things that are making us anxious. We got to change our mindset. Have you ever heard that? Our mindset. It's kind of like what you think about is your mindset. And in here it's saying when you're feeling anxious, stop and pray. Bring everything to God because He hears you, and the peace of God will come over you. And then you can think about these new things. So I have a little bit of an object lesson for us to go through to kind of demonstrate what it looks like when we think on things that are bad and we think on things that makes us anxious or stressed or can make us sad or mad. And what happens when we think on things that are good. All these words we talked about, I've got them written up here. We have true, praiseworthy, right, honorable, good, excellent, pure, lovely. These are all wonderful words. And when we think on things that match these words, that's what's going to come out of us. What we put in our brains is often what we put out into the world. The way we think and the way we process things in our mind is a lot of times how we treat other people and what comes out of our mouths. For example, if you are hanging out with good kids at school and you have good friends and they say nice things and stuff like that, what do you think you will be like? That's right, you will do those same things. You will be kind, you will be good, you will say nice things. But if you hang out with the kids at school that maybe talk bad or don't do the right things, then oftentimes what we end up doing is the same thing. We talk bad, we don't do the right things. And so we need to refocus our minds on what is good and pure and then focus on that. So I have a bit of an object lesson here. In this cup I have clean water, and this represents all these words we talked about. True, praiseworthy, right, honorable, good, excellent, pure, and lovely. And then in this cup here, I have some dirty water, and this represents bad things, our bad thoughts, our things that make us feel anxious, things that make us sad, mad. And when we fill those up, like we had talked about, what goes in comes out. So we are the sponge in this object lesson. And so if I stick this sponge into the clean water, what do you think is going to come out of it? That's right, clean water. However, if we soak up things that are bad and we hang out with the wrong people, can you see that? What comes out of us? Dirty water. Out of us comes all those bad things we talked about. So we need to make sure that we're filling ourselves up with this good stuff, with the clean stuff. Look at that. Now we've got clean water coming out again. Now you might be thinking, this sounds really hard. I don't know how to change my mind. I don't know how to think on things that are good when I'm thinking on things that are bad. Sometimes that can be really hard to do and to change our minds. But guys, guess what? Further down, there's another verse that will help us, give us strength, and it's in the same chapter, Philippians chapter 4, but we go down a little bit further in verse 13, and it says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. What an amazing verse. You can do all things through Christ, which strengthens you. God gives us strength. When we have God and the Holy Spirit living in our hearts and we are focusing on all these things, God is going to give us strength to change our mind. He's going to give us strength to do the right things, to think on things that are true, think on things that are good. So remember, what goes in will come out. So when we look at these words, let's talk about what they mean so we know what we're looking for and how to change our mindset. When we think on things that are true, this means that we're thinking about things that are right, that are not lies, that we know to be true. Like, for example, God loves you. When you're feeling down and you're thinking about things that are negative, remember, God loves you. Honorable. Honorable means to have good character and to do what is right. Pure means things that are free from bad, meaning sinless. Lovely means delightful and beautiful. That could even be as simple as looking outside and seeing a beautiful sunset and remembering that God made that. Or looking outside and seeing a beautiful flower. It doesn't always have to be something that you have to do. You just have to look around and see things that could be lovely, true, pure, honorable, all these things. It's not always meaning something that you have to do. Does that make sense? Good. Now I know I don't need to explain what good is to you guys. You guys know the difference between good and bad. And that's what good is. You just have to think on things that are good. Excellent or excellence is something of high quality. meaning that it's like really nice, something really great. Excellent could be a project you did that you got an A on, or like whatever the top score is. That was an excellent project you did. Think on things like that. So, for example, for that one, if you did a project and you didn't get a good grade on it, instead of being like really bummed about it, you can think about the project that you did a good job on, and you can think, next time I'll do it better and I'll make it like that excellent project I did that one time. You just have to change your mindset. Praiseworthy. Now these are things that are worthy of praise. And praise is basically to say great things about something. God is worthy of our praise. He is the ultimate worthy of our praise. But to say great things about something, it could just be something that you like, something that was wonderful to you, and you were like so thankful for it that you were like, wow, great job. That is giving praise. So guys, as we wrap up our lesson today, I know this was a lot of words to think about, but what I wanted to give you was an example of what to do when you're feeling anxious about something. This new year has a lot of unknowns, and it's exciting, but also can make us a little anxious. And so I wanted to give you guys some words to think about when you are feeling anxious or scared or mad, or in general. It doesn't even have to be about the new year. It could be about anything. I want you guys to remember that God has given us tools here in the Bible and these words to think about. And He can help us change our mindset when we are having a hard time. He's given you moms and dads to help you through that. He's given you friends and family to help you when you are feeling down. And if you can't come up with something that is true, move on to the next word. Think about something that is good. Think about something that is pure. You don't have to pick all of them. You just have to pick one. And God will help you change your mindset when you're struggling. And I hope that gives you just a little bit of peace as we go into this new year, knowing that it may be a little different. We don't know what's to come, but if we think on things that are true, right, lovely, pure, honorable, good, and excellent, we're going to be okay. And with that, you guys, we're going to move on to our craft. Welcome to craft time. Today we are going to be making fireworks using black paper, some cupcake holders. I have big and small. If you have just one size, that's great. But we'll need a glue stick and some markers and some scissors. And that's all we need. So guys, let's get set up. Perfect. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our black paper, and this is gonna be our night sky. Now, I did mention a second ago, but you can have whatever color paper you want, but it's basically just representing the sky, which I thought would be cool with black. All right, next what we're gonna do is you're gonna take your cupcake holders and your glue stick and your scissors. And what we're gonna do is you're gonna take one cupcake liner here. So I'm gonna pull one off. Did you like, guys? I picked these silver and gold for New Year's. And then these ones I had little already, and they're yellow, green I think? No, just yellow, blue, and pinkishy red. But you're gonna take your cupcake liner and you're gonna lay it flat, but with the color facing out. So it'll be a little weird to squish it out, and it'll kind of pop up the other side. And that's okay. We kind of want it to kind of stick out a little bit because it's going to be a bit of like a 3D art type of thing, but you're going to kind of just flatten it out. And then to create the firework effect is along these lines, you can see there's little lines going around. We're going to cut on those. So here I go, just like this. So you're going to follow one cut. Now you're not going to cut all the way to the middle. You're going to cut to where the middle circle part starts. So you don't want to cut through that. You just want to cut right up to it like this. Oh, I just realized I had two. All right, well, here we go. And voila. So now I've got this like cool frilled look. If you look at the other side, you can see the cuts really easily, which you might like this side better, but I'm gonna go with the shiny side. And then you kind of just crinkle them up a little bit just to make them so that they're not all together, so that you can see the different sides. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take it, flip it over, bump it bump, get your glue stick here and glue right in that circle part, right in the middle here where we didn't cut. Like this. And then we're gonna flip it over and stick it on our paper. Now here's the thing about this project is you can have it all inside your paper like this, or you can have it stick off your paper a little bit like this. So you get this really cool 3D look where it's like on the paper and off, and we're gonna cover the whole thing. So one thing I realized that since I accidentally cut through this is I can cut through multiples at a time. And this took me not a long time, but long enough that I'm gonna do a bunch together. So I'm gonna take some of my silver, and I'm gonna pull them apart so that way they're kind of unstick. You know how sometimes they get stuck in there, like I did these 2 gold ones? I'm gonna stick them back together, but kind of just get them initially unstuck. And I don't know how many I'm gonna use, but I'm just gonna do that for now. And we'll put this one, we'll just cut that one separate. And then I'm gonna grab a couple more golds here. Oops. And I'm gonna unstick them as well. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of push them together in the middle and then kind of try to flatten them out. We'll see if this works. Wow, I made it really thick. This kind of cupcake liner too is pretty thick. Ugh. Ugh. Well, would you look at that? The gold is a little bit smaller than the silver, but you wouldn't know that looking at them like this. Guys, what a cool discovery. Anyway, now I'm gonna cut these all together. Here we go. Ta-da! Now I've got some golds cut and some silvers cut. I'm just gonna kind of crinkle them up a little bit. And now we're gonna flip them over and glue them on. Then we're gonna move on to the mini ones. So let's see here. I'm gonna take a silver one and peel it off, do some glue in the middle here, and flip it over. Now the cool thing about fireworks is that they can overlap with each other. We'll get some gold next, and I'm gonna put it a little bit on top of the silver one. I'm gonna crinkle these up a little bit more here, and these ones too. And I'm gonna put it here like that. See how it overlaps? It's like 2 fireworks that got lit right next to each other. Okay, I think what I'm gonna do is do one more silver and one more gold. So we'll do a silver one up here, and then we'll do another gold one down there. We'll do a gold one here. And you know what, we'll do one silver one up here. Since I cut them, we might as well use them, right? And now, see, I forgot to crinkle those, but the cool thing is, since we only glued in the middle, we can crinkle them afterwards. Ta-da! Now you might be wondering, Mykaela, what are we gonna use the markers for? Well, here I'm gonna show you with the little ones. Since these ones are shiny and they have like a metal-y kind of look to them, I'm not gonna color on these ones because I don't think it'll work with the markers that I chose. If I had permanent marker, maybe, but I don't have that at the moment. So I'm gonna take some of these little yellow ones since I think they go the best with the color. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm gonna open it, push it down, and this time I'm going to cut them. So let me get a couple of these and cut these ones together. Here we go. Lots of cutting for this project today. It's good for your hand muscles. Here we go. Ta-da! So these ones, what I did instead is I cut not on every single line, but I cut on just like some of it. So I kind of cut like this. Bloop, bloop, bloop. All right, so now I'm gonna take a couple of these and I'm going to sprinkle them in amongst my other fireworks. So I'm gonna circle in the middle. Ta-da! Put one here. Circle in the middle. I'll put one here. Circle in the middle. Ooh, I think this one might be 2. Aha! It was. Circle in the middle, and then I'm gonna do one more down here. Ta-da! And guys, there's my night sky with all my fireworks. Ta-da! What do you guys think? Oh, I don't know if you could hear that, but Rue likes it. She's the cat that I'm pet sitting for. She just meowed. So you're gonna take a color. So since I chose yellow, I'm gonna do some orange on top because I think that'll be a cool addition. And you're just gonna make designs in the middle. however you want. So this one, I'm gonna do like a swirly design like this. Can you see that? I did a design like that. You could even go up the sides. Pew, pew. And fill all these in. I'm gonna do that real quick. Ta-da! So now I've got like a cool designed one. Let's see, let's do some pink. How about that? And this one, I'm just gonna do a bunch of dots in the middle. Realizing though that with the small marker, I'm gonna get a bigger one here. So I'm gonna get this so you can see the dots a little bit better. Yeah, that's better. You know how sometimes you have those fireworks that have like the glittery parts in it? That's what I'm imagining all these dots are. Is that it's the glitter like shimmery part that comes from fireworks. Those kind are my favorite. It looks so magical. And then instead of lines, I'm gonna do dots going out. So give me a second, that's gonna take me a minute. Ta-da! You can see all those dots. Now we've got dots on one. We've got swirls on this one. Flip it back. Oh, okay, well, let's see. I'm gonna do some more orange, or should I do like a crazy color? Should we do like green? Some fireworks have colors in them, right? I think so. Let's do a big star in the middle of this one. So the fun thing about these is you guys get to do whatever you want and you get to make them look however you want. You could use markers, you could use colored pencils, would probably work on the paper kinds. You could use paint and that would work on both. And you guys can make it look however you want. But here's the fun thing, one last little touch. I'm gonna leave this one plain. Is I'm gonna grab a pencil here and we're gonna see if this works. I'm gonna draw some stars on the black paper. What you could do, if you can't draw stars, you can draw little circles to represent stars in the sky. So this is gonna be really hard for you to see, I think, on the camera, but I think if I can get the light to hit it just right, you'll be able to see it. And then you can see what I mean by having stars in the sky. You can use it with a pencil. I think the pencil's kind of cool because it reflects in the light. But if you had like yellow paint or white paint and you sprinkled it on, that would be really cool too. All right, let's see if I can get you to see these stars that I drew. Oh yeah, you can kind of see them there. Well guys, there are my bunch of fireworks for my New Year's Eve. I hope you guys have so much fun making this craft and enjoy it as much as I did. You can make it simple like this with just a couple colors, or you could use some crazy cool designed cupcake liners. I've seen those. They're your fireworks, so you can make them look however you want. Well, with that, you guys, Happy New Year's and let's wrap up our day. Thank you so much for joining me again today, you guys. I hope you had a great time learning about ways to change our mind and think on things that are good, lovely, pure, and to focus our mind on God and trust that He's going to give us the strength to change our mindsets when we're having a bad day. And I hope you enjoyed our craft today, making our fireworks for our New Year's Eve. And with that, you guys, I hope you have a great New Year's Eve and hope you enjoy staying up late and having fun with your families. And you guys, I will see you next Sunday in the new year. With that, love you guys and I'll see you then. Bye!